Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to our audience from all around the world. To the inaugural edition of Leadership Webinar Series, where we plan to speak to eminent leaders across the hospitality and travel space on their journeys, views on the current crisis, and how do they see the future unfold for this amazing industry which accounts for 10% of the world's GDP. Apoof Chamadia, Chief Revenue Officer at RateGain, is Mr. Chander Baljee, Chairman and Managing Director of Royal Orchid Hotels. Mr. Baljee is a hospitality icon with more than 40 years of experience in the hospitality industry. He currently serves as the Chairman and MD of Royal Orchid Hotel, a publicly listed company on National Stock Exchange. A thought leader in the ever-evolving hospitality space, Mr. Baljee has many credits, including the rapid setup and expansion one of India's foremost hotel brands, Royal Orchid and Regenta Hotels. Chander Baljee specializes in setting up and profitably running of hotels. He's a go-to expert for owned, leased, managed, and franchised hotel models. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. Very, very warm welcome on behalf of RateGain and the whole audience.
Okay, hi. Good afternoon. Nice to talk to such an eminent audience. And I think all of us are sharing the same problem right now. So I think we're all in the same boat. But I think we all fighters, and we'll find some way out of it very, very soon. I think our journey, of course, really Royal Orchid Hotel journey started in 2001. And that was not the best year to start, and particularly when you start a hotel, you got all borrowings, you've taken all money from, you have exhausted all your savings from every single source, and you started the hotel. And then, various issues happened in 2001. We had, this Lehman crisis was 2008. But there was this bomb blast, and there was this 9/11. So I've had a lot of issues in the past where you feel, oh my God, everything's going to come to an end. In 2001, when we started the hotel, for 2 years we struggled, and there was one problem or the other, whether the Bombay blast or the blast in Bangalore, right? And business used to take a hit every time. But 2003 to 2008 was like a dream run. There was the IT boom in Bangalore. There was shortage of accommodation. And we were really, feeling that nothing could be better. That's why in 2006 we went for an IPO, which was of course oversubscribed about 40 times, and business was good. Everything was good. Hunky dory. Then came 2008. Now 2008, there was a crash in the world market. Then our hotel is located in Bangalore, our flagship hotel, very close to this airport. And because it's close to the airport, you get a lot of business. And 2008, the airport shifted to 40 kilometers away. So it was like a double whammy. We had that also, and by that time, what happened was, because of the 2006 IPO, we got a lot of money, and so now you cannot. You are at a stage where you have a project running. You can't leave it halfway because we are at a total loss. So we had to complete those projects. So those things went on, and that 2008 problems continued for some time. And I would say that, in fact, this was the longest kind of a recession, already, although earlier we've downturn. But this was the longest one. It almost took about 10 years. And just when we thought that we were coming out of it, and things have started, because there was a demand-supply mismatch. In the boom time, everybody thought we'll set up 100 hotels, like, big company, DLF, everybody passed out, everybody announced that we'll have 100 hotels. And everybody started making that kind of hotels. But then everything crashed. And therefore, but they also in a situation where they had to, a lot of hotels had to come up. So we had a demand supply mismatch. So in fact, in the last some years, we had more supply than we had demand. Now, as soon as the demand started picking up now, we've had this problem. So, but it's okay. We will face it. I know there have been worse problems in the past also. And we look at it that if there's a tsunami, then your entire properties and everything gets washed out. Right? When there's an earthquake, everything gets destroyed. At least here, our assets are standing. And there's a temporary halt. So, okay, 2 months, yeah, it's been a bloodbath. I know, and then this has far-reaching consequences across the globe. So it may take some time for market to pick up. But at the same time, I am a little hopeful for India, because what happens, there were 26 million people who travel out of India. At least they aren't going anywhere. They have to go within the country only. And they will also prefer to go drivable distances. Like, for example, Mussoorie. Nobody will think of going to Mussoorie earlier. Switzerland is so close by, right? Nobody will think of going to Goa. Okay, Bangkok or Thailand is so nice. They'll all start rediscovering India. Like, dekho apna desh. We never valued our own country. And in fact, I would say that last November, I went to Calcutta after. I go there sometimes, but it's the first time I went to Victoria Memorial, and I found it was absolutely world class. But we have never seen it. Right? I went to see Dev Diwali in Varanasi this year.
Wow.
I think something absolutely amazing. So I'm saying there's a lot of things to see in India, which I think Indians will discover. There are 55 million tourists in India alone. So look at that market. That market is going to come back to us. And Indians are, not that very scared variety. We people are very brave. We tend to forget things fast. Like there was a bomb blast in Bangalore in Forum Mall one Friday afternoon. And so normally when there's a bomb blast anywhere in the world, the whole city comes to a standstill for some number of days. Here within 3 hours, the place was sanitized and it was back to normal. And people walking around as if nothing has happened. So we people tend to be a little more brave, not as paranoid as some of these countries abroad. So I think they are positive. We will bounce back. And even business travel. Okay, people are saying today Zoom will take over and do all that. I London, and we celebrated his birthday like a Zoom party where relatives got together. But we couldn't get to taste the cake. All right. So I'm saying that there's a limitation to Zoom and all that. Yes, it has opened up a big opportunity for people. People do tend to, make use of that. But ultimately, nothing like face to face. Still, a lot of people are today waiting for me to visit the site and then take a decision. Yes, unless I actually visit the site, I don't get a feel of what is the business it can generate. So you need to do that. Yes, we've utilized this time for, management development training programs we did for all our number twos, because we could not do that in the past because everybody was busy. Now they had not all the time. So we are concluding that in the next few days. So we have trained about 25 managers of the future for our company. Then we've done multi-skilling. Multi-skilling is one thing which India never has or had, right? But this is the time when we train people on all. The receptionists got trained in housekeeping got trained in front office, and vice versa in F&B service. So, and now because of a little scare of jobs, people are willing to do that job. Otherwise, the guy said, "Arey, housekeeping job I will not do." So, but now I would say that people are willing to do. So there's a mindset change, which is a very positive change. Then what is also going to happen is that in our hotels, We were trying to reduce overheads and become more cost effective, but not much of success. Every budget meeting would be, no sir, last year our overheads were this year this much, therefore 10% more, and we'd haggle and settle for 5% more. There's nothing, no concept of zero budgeting. So we say we'll do zero budgeting now. Now you say that, okay, going to start a hotel, what is going to be the real cost required? And only those costs will be now added up. And you have to justify every single paisa that you spend. So now that is what has been done. So I would say that in our fixed costs, we are aiming to bring about nothing, about almost 30 to 40% reduction in the fixed costs. We are looking at in the all overheads, whether it is electricity or it is manpower, everything we are thinking of we're thinking of using convenience foods for F&B is going to be right now muted. So we're thinking of using convenience food, new method of cooking. So all that is being adopted. So I think it has been a very, very fruitful time for particularly Royal Orchid Hotels and Regenta Hotels. It's been very, very fruitful time for us. Yes, no doubt we say that, yes, we have incurred a huge loss in the 2 months. But then I think we will be able to recover because, yes, going forward, I'm looking at about a 3 to 6 months recovery period because, flights will start in the month of June. But there'll be a gradual pickup. People will be scared a little to travel, and then travel may be a little more expensive at that time. And so that'll take some time. July, railways are going to open up in July. And then, like we have hotels in Goa, 4 hotels in Goa. But Goa, unless people are able to go to Goa, they said our borders with Karnataka and Maharashtra are sealed. So how will people come in? So I think that will take about 2 or 3 months to get open up. So I think September, October onwards, I think people will be dying to go to travel. People who've been cooped up in their houses, they want to get out somewhere, because,
I can completely empathize with that feeling. We all want to get out.
There's a pent-up demand, I think people will go. People say, why will the people travel? They will travel, right? And I think it's going to come back. You are seeing that when a booze bottle shop open, how many people are crowding? They're not
100 crores of sale in Delhi in one day.
They're not even bothered about social distancing and all that. They're still going there because, so that similarly for, okay, I hope they adopt that for some time, so that this thing does not spread and we don't go back again into a W-shaped kind of a recovery. And I hope it's a V recovery and not a U recovery. But I am always positive, I think, because whatever crisis I've seen in the past, right, we've come up stronger than ever. So this is where we are, and welcome to ask me any questions if you have.
Which segment do you think will recover first? So you have MICE, you have leisure, you have corporate, and what is your reading on the scenario? Which segments will recover first?
See, MICE will take a little longer because, as I said, conferences and all that, people will, do it by Zoom and other video conferencing, this thing. So that'll take a little longer. And conferences sometimes also regarded as unnecessary expense. But then, a lot of work cannot happen. When you're meeting people, you're discussing over a cup of tea in the tea break. You're meeting somebody, networking, over lunch. And once we have that, you go away after a meeting with discovering new friends and associating your own company, which cannot happen in Zoom meetings. So that will have to happen. Somebody's got to see a site. He has to visit the site. Somebody's got to taste the food. Somebody got to feel the city. You got to see that, and ultimately, like sometimes I get an information memorandum of a hotel which looks so beautiful. But when I go there, I say, oh my God, it's a very, very terrible location. And because you ride through the area and you find that, no, this is not a hotel, which is location, which is good for the thing. So I think MICE will take a little time. Weddings will take a little time, but then, we are looking at, okay, smaller wedding, 50 people are allowed right now, it might go up to 100 very soon. So 100 people wedding, and then we'll offer people these Zoom links and facilities so that they don't have to bother to create all that, and we'll have, video connections with their friends all across the country also. So we are providing all the facilities now. So we'll do that. But of course, restaurants should bounce back very soon. Yeah, social distancing for some time, but how long will that be there? Yes, any case, in hotels, restaurants are not usually packed back to back. Only breakfast time is a little bit of an issue, and so we'll serve people. I will open up room service also, and we have, luckily, most of our hotels, we have a lot of space in the coffee shop area. We can spread out to the outside areas also. So I think we have no issues there. So I think FIDs should definitely catch up. MICE weddings will follow, and of course restaurants will definitely pick up. And I think, hotels, recognized hotels should bounce back before the little wary of going to non-branded hotels. There's a brand which has got a lot of hotels in every corner street of the country, right? But would people be happy to go there? I mean, at least people will vary. Because, okay, earlier there was a price point, but then hotels are going to drop their prices. Today, for timing for the next 6 months, you will definitely get very good bargains. Okay, why don't you offer a special rate for this coming few months? So I think you'll get, what you were paying, maybe 5,000, you'll get for 2,500, 3,000 rupees rate. So there is definitely going to be much more value that hotels will be able to offer. And, and then if you're driving, your costs are not very high. So I think the overall cost is not going to be very high for a holiday. So there will be a boom in the holiday business.
So, Mr. Baljee, hotels are doing various things around health, safety, hygiene. Some hotels internationally are saying that once a room is booked, keep it for 72 hours before offering it again. Hilton has said that they will put a seal on every room after it's been cleaned. So some hotel chains are saying they will do temperature screening or make the whole check-in process on the app. And, the whole concept of, guests sitting in the lobby waiting for check-in will change. So what are some of the strategies you are considering, Shane?
I think everything, pretty much, I think hotel fraternity is all very much aligned to that. And first of all, starting with the staff. So we're asking everybody to be on Arogya app, Arogya Setu app. And then everybody will be screened. We will try to find out where they are staying, so that if they are staying in a containment area, we will tell them to stay home for some more time. And of course, everybody will be wearing a mask, and of course, hand sanitizer, uniform every day, a new uniform. There will be face masks everybody has to wear, and headgear. And we are trying to put face shield also. And of course, as you said, reduce for the guests, reduce as much touch point as possible. So when the guest checks in, you're trying to, give him as contactless check-in as possible through an app or so that he comes in and he knows which room to go in and straight away goes to the room. And of course, the key will be sanitized and handed over to him. And then lifts, you are taking precaution in the lifts not to crowd the lifts. So lift is for eight people, so maybe only 4 people will stand in the 4 corners and travel. So we are putting toothpicks kind of a thing in the for people to pick up one to press the lift button, and then he disposes of that toothpick. So as we're trying to reduce as much contact as possible, surface contact as possible, with the for the customer as well as the staff also. So these hygiene factors are being taken care of, and of course, disinfectant as much as possible we are trying to do. So I think pretty much the hotel industry is geared up for that. We are doing all the things which are required to be done. And I think our hotels in Bangalore are luckily Karnataka is opening the hotels on the 18th, on Monday, so soon. So
That's great news.
we are all prepared for that. And I think, yes, we are not expecting herds of people to come in at the first day. But, at least some beginning, we expect a few guests to come in from at least within Karnataka. Tamil Nadu borders are sealed right now. But there will be a movement and people will be staying. And at least this will give us, whenever you open a hotel, you have what you call a soft launch. So we can say this is a soft relaunch of the hotels.
Very well said, sir. So a lot of hotels in NCR, in Delhi and other regions are now, relooking at their ancillary revenue strategy. So they are rethinking about what to do with the spas and gyms, which will not open immediately. And in fine dining, a lot of them have now tied up with Swiggy and Zomato to start delivering from their fine dining restaurants. So is that something also which you're considering?
See, we are looking at that, but I'm not very upbeat about that. Because with Zomato and Swiggy or something, there are large number of options available. Suppose you want to buy a biryani, right? Today a biryani is available for 99 rupees. And I think it must be a pretty good biryani, available. So why would a guy pay maybe 300 rupees for a biryani from a branded hotel, 300 to 500 rupees for a biryani? So that market is there. We started from one of our hotels food delivery, and it's doing reasonably okay. But then that market is not huge.
Right.
So I think, for hotels, it would be lower margin, but maybe some high volume business, but it's already in a very, very crowded market. So if hotels think that they're going to get, it will be small incremental revenue, definitely. But I don't think it's going to be a huge business proposition.
So a question on pricing, Mr. Baljee. So, historically hotels have done pricing by looking at historical data, competitor pricing, and the trends from the past seasons. Now, all that ex facto analysis has gone out of the window. Demand patterns, seasonal trends, competition pricing. So when you think about pricing for your chain, how are you thinking about where to start setting prices from as the hotels reopen?
See, what happens is that you have to set up a certain benchmark. Now, five-star hotel, if you start selling room for 1,000 rupees because the rooms are available, you're going to get a guest who's going to ruin your property, So I think we have also classified that, okay, below a certain price, we will not accept business in this hotel. Yeah, it may be a pain point for a little while, but no. Okay, if you are having a group booking coming in from a corporate, so you know that, okay, this guy at least, he's a cultured kind of a guy who's coming in. So there, you may have a more flexibility. But for FITs, I don't think we will go down very much. Yes, prices will be, I would say, almost 50% of what the prices were there earlier. So I think that much, most hotels would be definitely going up to 50% of what their bar rates were prior to this problem happening. So I think that we should be prepared for. But then we are also controlling our costs also. Our costs are also not going to be, our costs, as I mentioned to you earlier, also 30 to 50% will reduce the cost also. Yes, the problem of highly leveraged hotels where there's an interest burden, yeah, that is going to be suffered. But we as a company, we have just very few hotels which have got loan, which are serviceable loan. So, it may be a little small dent, right now, but not very much. And if you are leasing properties, it's best to negotiate with the landlord and, come to some sort of a concession rather than paying a force majeure clause and all that. So I think, because I think after 2-3 months, this will be forgotten. And we'll think it was a bad dream, and let's now look at some better times.
Absolutely, sir. So, what is your take on, when times were booming, you had many hospitality colleges come up. In fact, you also started a very famous chain of hospitality. Uh, and employment was strictly at will. Because in hospitality, there were always 4-5 takers. So how do you see this whole employment market in hospitality changing?
See, I'll tell you one thing. We've been running a college of hotel management for now about 26 years now. Okay. And there has never been a challenge for hospitality professionals. In fact, most of the people we train join other industries. They join BPOs, they join retail, they join telecom, they join, everything. They join hotels also. But I've seen that because generally a person who's graduated from a hotel management course, he's a very, very outgoing, he's a very confident young person. He's not shy. And today what's happening is that you need that kind of people in every business. In retail also, the other day I went into a Brooks Brothers selling shirts. And this girl, very, very pleasant, very nice. I guess I said, she's not from a retail industry. So I asked her, I said, where are you from? She said, I was a hotel management graduate and I was working in Ritz-Carlton Hotel as a bakery chef. So I said, how do you change? He said, no, sir, I wanted something different. So there are people today in all walks of life. So I think hospitality professionals will not find any problem in getting people. Today, in fact, Big Basket is asking us that you have spare people who we can utilize for our deliveries and all that. So I think, hospitality professionals will not. And what has happened is over the years, instead of, the 3-year, 4-year course and all that, we are doing small courses. In fact, we are doing this part of our CSR activity, where what we are doing is we are training people online for hotel management courses. And so what they do is they see the material online for about a week, and then through video conferencing, they have a contact program end of the week, and we try to finish a program in 3 months. So in 3 months, a guy can be trained in front office or housekeeping or F&B service. And then practical training, we give them in our various hotels across the country if he wants to work there. So he can get practical training. So I would say maximum 6 months, a guy is from a guy who's destitute. He has got no, hope. He's a 10th class failure. He becomes a confident young man who's ready to take on the world. He gets a salary of 15,000 to 16,000 rupees. Plus he gets food, he gets uniform, and he gets tips or service charge, whatever the case may be. So he takes home 20,000 to 25,000 rupees. So that is one thing which we are thinking of as a mission. In fact, we would like all the audience who are, who want to sponsor students for us, please write to us. You can write to our principal Amlan, 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 at royalorchidhotels.com. He's our principal, and we will be happy to train any number of people, because now with Zoom and all those things, we are able to scale up our business, and we'll be doing a service to people by training them up. That's what I'm taking.
I think it's a very refreshing take, Mr. Baljee, on the whole. I think hospitality is a great supplier of net talent to all the industries, and it's a very, very empowering thought. So I wanted to ask you, as a chain, you would be with travel agents, GDS providers, package operators, you would have direct sales like corporate. So do you think your distribution strategy is going to change post-COVID, distribution and sales strategy?
So I don't think so. Only thing what will happen is that, you are, of course, what we are finding is that we have a lot of people who used to go out on sales calls. Now they will be able to connect with more people, because what happens if you do a sales call, A person has to go all the way to a car, to an office, and he has to wait. He sees the person, and then he has a cup of tea with him, and then he goes. So I think there's a lot of waste of time for the person who is going and the person who is receiving the person. So now there will be a lot of, unless one has to negotiate a conference or one now has to negotiate a group booking or something like that, or a day out or something. A lot of things are going to happen over video calls itself. You give a call on video or WhatsApp call. The connectivity has improved dramatically. So you do that. So there will be a lot of WhatsApp video calls with the people. So you won't need to go to that. So I think the sales people will become more productive going forward. Of course, we will be, using for all the online channels, OTAs. Of course, we will be definitely. They are integral part of our,
distribution mix,
business distribution. So they will also be there with us. And of course, the regular travel agents, we can't forget them because they've been with us for years. We had this business for years. And particularly somebody wants to put a wedding and all that, he has to go to an actual agent. That day I was talking to a group, I was addressing a group of event managers. They were also worried a lot. I said, look here, don't worry. We will partner with you and, we will of course, see today, there are a lot of people who are having, say, annual days. Now, annual day will mean that a company will have 500 to 1,000 people. Now, this at least for the short run will become annual day department wise. So they'll have 100 people, 150 people. So I said, don't lose heart. You'll have to work a little 4 times harder to get the same revenue, but it's for short run. So I think you start looking at that. And then there are a lot of other events also which can happen. So I think, although fundamental will not change, but I think business, we have to work harder. I think it's like a treadmill. We keep running and running. You may be the same side, but we'll have to run harder. Okay.
Absolutely, sir. And you still continue to inspire us with the amount of hard work you do. Whenever we have seen your team and all your colleagues, I think it's a standing example of what hard work can do. So I wanted to ask you further on this question. OTA contribution to your revenue will go up significantly?
No, I would say F&B to the contrary, because at least in the short run, restaurants will attract less people. As I say, weddings and conferences will be less. So going forward, F&B business for hotels is not going to be that great in the short run. But at that time, because if you downsize the F&B, see what happens if you see in a hotel which is more room centric, the gross operating profit is much higher because the staff employed for the room division is much less. You typically in a hotel, 1/3 of the staff works for the room division and 2/3 for the staff works for the F&B division. So I would say in F&B there will be definitely maybe a 50% reduction in the staff, like all contract people have gone, and earlier our kitchen staff will never lift up a broom to clean their kitchen. Right now they'll also be happily doing that also, which happens abroad. I think there's nothing wrong. This
dignity of labor.
Dignity of labor will come, because today they don't have a choice. I have seen abroad, the restaurant manager, he sees something spilling, he doesn't look around for a janitor to come and clean it. He just picks up a broom and cleans it. That culture is not there in India. It will come now. So there will be a positive change, in the thinking of the staff nowadays. That okay, if you want a job, then you better be multi-skilled and better not. After all, somebody else is doing that dirty job. He's also a human being, no? Right? Absolutely. So why are you so scared of it?
Completely agree. So, I wanted to ask you, what is your advice to the industry? There are a lot of independent hoteliers also on the. What is your advice to them? What should they stop doing? What should they continue doing? And what should they start doing new?
See, my advice to single hoteliers is that it's becoming increasingly difficult for single hoteliers to survive. See, for example, I remember when I was a single hotel, and I used to find that when I used to go to the Institute of Hotel Management to hire a person, I used to get not one person, because all the chain that time there were just 3 or 4 chains like Oberoi, Taj, ITC, and ITDC. Then they used to take away all the staff, and we used to get, that motivated us to start our hotel management school in 1994. So we started that. So I'm saying that they should today think of affiliating 2 chains, and of course then there's always the dispute. There's a thing between foreign chain and Indian chain. I would say that in terms of value, Indian chains, although I am an Indian chains, I'll advocate for that. They're more flexible. They'll deliver. Their contracts are more, amenable. You can change a few clauses to suit yourself. A foreign chain you cannot contact. So, I think it's time where, because 2 things hoteliers face. One is to get manpower, and other is to get sales and distribution. So these 2 things chain can provide. So that is what, when we go and pitch for hotels, we pitch on those 2 lines also. You get a staff, a person, general manager wants to join a chain, a growing chain, and he doesn't want to join a single hotel. So this is the 2 major problems which hotels face. And so my advice to them would be that you explore possibilities and see whether something suits you. If it suits you, either you take a franchise. If you are a hands-on hotelier, and you know that you don't have any. We have got a number of hotels which are franchise also. The owners are maybe hotel management graduates themselves. So 2 owners have graduated from Switzerland. So we felt that they won't destroy our brand. They will take our brand and our brand guidelines and work with us and they are probably more competent to run their own hotel than a manager that we hire. So I think it's manager that is working pretty well in some of the hotels, and we extend to take that also further.
So the question, Baljee, a lot of people are saying that most hotel chains would be happy to end the year at no profit, no loss, just like a break-even kind of a situation. So what is your projection, if it can be shared? So what do you think you guys will end the year at, and what is your advice to other hotels with respect to profitability expectation?
See, it's all on the basis of the what our hypothesis is. That first quarter we know is going to be a loss, right? Second quarter, if we are able to break even, we should be very lucky. Okay. Now, third quarter, we should be able to make some profit, and fourth quarter, a little more profit. So I would say overall this year, it won't be a very big plus, but hopefully it should not be a minus also. But particularly if you are not very leveraged, like hotels like us are not very leveraged, so our interest burden is not very high. And that's the advice which I'll give to most hoteliers. There were times when banks were chasing us, and what they'll give is they'll give almost 75% of the project cost as a loan. But now, it's even if the easy money, now money is not available, but even if it's available, one should try to see that a project does not get 1:1, more than 1:1. In fact, if one can do a 60% ourselves, funding, and 40%. In fact, this funding should be taken as last mile funding when you come to a stage of interiors. And you said your project risk is minimum, because when you start a project, project risk is quite high. Some corporation fellows will stop your thing, some PI will come, somebody will stop your thing. So instead of taking 2 years to complete a project, you take 3-4 years to complete a project. And if you take 4 years to complete a project, you are an NPA candidate right from the beginning itself. So I think it's best that to exercise a little caution, take some judicious step. Yes, you are wanting to open a best hotel, and take advice. Today every hotel, whoever hotel I get, who I meet, I have a gym, I have a spa, I've got specialty restaurant, I got this and that. Not even required. You may require just a coffee shop, and you don't need a spa in every hotel, right? In fact, in the best of hotels, we lose money in a spa, but we provide it in our resort location because the extra facility that we've got. We don't make any money out of it. So I would say that, people have to be more judicious in spending their project money rather than going by their ego that, I would make the best hotel. I've had cases where some owners have said, oh, I want the best. You get up. We don't want your advice. You want the best hotel. And today they are regretting it because they made a hotel where they overspent, which is not even required, because the money that you get, the ARR that you get is determined by the market. It's not necessarily determined by a very fancy product.
Absolutely right, sir. So internationally, which are the first countries where you expect to start seeing inbound tourism from, and for outbound? Where do you think Indians will start traveling first?
I would say outbound could be maybe Sri Lanka, and Dubai could be, because Dubai is also quite now, I think, opening up, although it is quite infected, but then it could happen. But I don't see very many places opening up. So this is the good news for our industry, that not many people will open up, and people actually shouldn't even go. I mean, if you don't go to Dubai, heavens are not going to fall. No? You go to Dubai next year. I mean, it may be even better. And after the expo, you get a lot of hotel rooms much cheaper at half the price. So go after next year, and there's nothing going to change. So explore our own country. Beaches in our own country. Go to Goa. Go to South Goa if you're fed up of the North Goa, crowded beaches. Go to South Goa. Go to Kerala. Kerala is today, incidentally, one of the most controlled state as far as coronavirus is concerned. So I think, there's lots to do within our country. I went to Bhuj once. We have a hotel, and I never went to Bhuj. But once, we had Shah Rukh Khan staying there. So my wife said, oh, I have to go. He was shooting there. But I went there and I found that, you go there to those Run of Kutch, the white desert, on a moonlit night. It's a mind-blowing experience, absolutely mind-blowing. Then you go to a place called Mandi, very near that, and you see those birds, and they are absolutely amazing. So there are lots and lots to see in India. We went to Ranthambore. We had an IIM class reunion this year. So in February, we went to Ranthambore and Jaipur, and I think we saw tiger. What an amazing sighting of tiger. That's another experience by itself. I mean, I had not gone to Taj Mahal for years. I went only in my school days, and now I went about a year back from Delhi, because it's always, okay, hamare ghar ka hai. But my God, when you stand in front of Taj Mahal, the whole aura that you have, the feeling that you get is absolutely amazing. I think we should not forget it. Just that you see Taj Mahal, you see it in every other picture. No. But when you go there and you stand down and experience, with your girlfriend or your wife or a romantic date, you will find that, wow, what a great place it is. So I think do that. So Kashmir should open out soon. I think, things are going to very soon become normal. So I think if not this October, maybe by the next summer, we should be flushing out all the terrorists, and then, it's a very good location to go to, and now very well connected. There are flights from everywhere going to Srinagar. There were no flights earlier. So, and it's becoming quite cheap also to travel. But the connectivity is there to every single place. Once all the Indigo and all that come back to there, they're connected to every single place. Northeast, people are not explored. Right? I've also not been to Northeast. I may start going to Sikkim, right? Bhutan, all these
Especially
places.
Since you like orchids so much, I think Gangtok should definitely be on your...
Definitely it's going to be there. It's pity I have not gone there. I've been to Bangkok and all that, but I would like to explore our own destination. People are not gone. We'll talk about Valley of Flowers. There's so much to see, and all people keep on saying, "Arey ye ganda hai, dirty hai, ye hai, wo hai." Arey no, see things. Why do you have to go and see the dirt? You see the nice, you see the positive part of it. Then you'll know. I went to Varanasi for this
Dev
Dev,
Diwali.
Dev Diwali. And then, I went to the Kashi Vishwanath temple. Now, it's a mind-blowing experience that to see. It's the oldest living temple in the world. You learn about it. I did not know about it, but I know about it now. I went to Pushkar. Now, Pushkar, we have a hotel in Pushkar. We went to Brahma temple. It's the only Brahma temple in the world. Right? Brahma is the creator of the universe, and we didn't know about it. So we are very ignorant about our own culture also. And it's fascinating to see these things now. And in Pushkar, I saw the camel safari. There's a ropeway there. If I take my grandchildren, they'll be love to go there. So I think, there's lots to see besides the glamour of all these foreign places and all that. The malls, you go to a mall in Dubai, go to a mall in Bombay, Delhi. It's okay, maybe Unis Beach, today there's a bigger, is maybe in the size little bigger. But you do the same thing in a mall, no? So let's explore other things. We are trying to put experiences into our hotel. We're telling people to put in our website experiences, what they can do outside the hotel when they go on a holiday. Not a room is a room is a room, but what they can do outside, right? When you go to Goa, beaches is one. Everybody knows about it. But then there's a lot more than a beaches. You have got walking tours. You take one of the hire one of those things. He show you some heritage places which you have never seen before. There's a place which is a farm which grows local stuff. I told some one of the mind blowing day outing there. So you go to Dudhsagar Falls from Goa. Rainy season is just coming. So immediately after I go to Dudhsagar Falls, which is just an hour and a half drive from this thing. So I would say let's discover our country.
Complete. I think very strong and very good advice on let's be vocal about local, as our Prime Minister said. And there's tons to discover. And Mr. Baljee, you're also getting invitations from audience on the call to visit their lovely hotels and other parts of the world. So
What is local? Local, I would say that you should look at affiliating with local chains. Why are we today hung up on tying up with a foreign chain? Does it really bring value? Yes. In a very large five-star hotel in Bombay, Delhi, or metro cities, a foreign chain, because it's got a lot of foreign clientele, an American chain with American clientele, it will give you value because they have a larger distribution network. But for a tier 2 city, tier 3 cities, right? If you are tying up with a foreign chain, you are saddling yourself with high capital costs, high operating costs, and there would not be that much of clientele coming from those countries. So I would say this vocal with local is something which I think we should, and our Indian companies should also support our local chain. Why are they saying that we want to go to only the Marriotts and the Hiltons and all that? Why not local chains? So I think we should, Swadeshi Bhavna should be arrived at. And one of the best things which we are giving to the world is now the Namaste culture, right?
yeah,
Which
absolutely.
This handshake is going to go out the window, and we are going to give this Namaste culture to the world.
Absolutely, Mr. Baljee. So I wanted to now do a quick fire round with you. I'm going to ask you questions and tell us top of mind what comes to you and select one of the options. So winning an IPL cricket match or winning a World Cup football match?
IPL cricket. IPL cricket.
Excellent. Long weekend getaway for you, golf at a resort, art museum, or yacht?
Or
a yacht, sailing in the sea.
Yeah, I would say sailing. I love water.
What is the most unique gift you've ever received and which is very memorable?
Well, actually, at this age, the best gift that I have is my grandchildren. I have 4 of them, and I've got 4 boys. They're very boisterous. They're very nice. They're good fun. That's the best gift I've got.
Absolutely. Very, very well said. Um, what is the best time for you to fill up your gas tank? When there is 1 bar left, 2 bars left, or 3 bars left?
What's the best?
Time to fill up your gas tank in the car.
I
When there
would
is
go
one
for the
bar
middle.
left,
Go for the middle one.
middle
I
bar.
wouldn't take too much of a risk,
You
and I
won't take.
won't too eager to fill it up when we just got plenty of.
Absolutely. What is your drink of choice? Water, wine, espresso, or a smoothie?
Water.
Mine also. Really like water.
I'm a teetotaler, so it has so that other two don't get, and I'm a diabetic, so smoothie is probably out. I would love a smoothie, but I think I stick to water right now.
What is your next travel destination once lockdown opens and business is more in control and you travel?
I would say Goa and Simla. Simla is my hometown, and we're thinking of doing a project there. So I would love to go to Simla, long overdue. And Goa, of course, is a destination where I always love to go.
Beaches or mountains? You can only select one. So Goa or Shimla.
Oh, then I will select Goa.
uh, dogs or cats as pets?
Dogs.
Are you a night owl or an early riser?
I'm an early riser.
And last one, which is the best hotel according to you in the world you stayed in and you really admire? Can't be Royal Orchid.
No, I think the best time we had was at Atlantis Hotel in Dubai, where we had a good family holiday. We took our grandchildren, and so I think that was the best holiday because of the combination of a water park and a very lovely hotel. So I think if you're telling me one hotel, then I would say that.
Amazing. Atlantis is a fantastic property. What is your advice to hotels on last one, before we start wrapping up and take audience questions? Hotels start looking up, how should they look about their social media marketing, digital marketing? What should they communicate? You used a very nice word. You said think of it as a soft relaunch. I really loved that concept. I'm going to use it, courtesy you, and give you the credit for it. What is your advertising and marketing hotels looking at opening again?
See, at the moment, the first thing in mind is it that yes, you are coming into a very, very absolute, sterilized kind of environment. So that is the first thing which you have to communicate to every single guest, every single touch point, and it should be visible. When a guy walks in, he says, "Tuck, tuck, these are things which are there, sanitizer or whatever it is, just there." So it has to be visible. It has to be communicated to the customer. So that will be the most point. Number two is the value that you are able to provide. Okay. And of course, what is the experience that you are able to provide? Over and above just the room that you're going to give. So, people would like to go for more experiential holidays rather than just a holiday. And for a hotel guest who's coming for business, we have to be very efficient. Yes. Yeah, today we may not be able to give all the kind of service that he's used to. Because when you communicate, a hostess is talking to a guest, he's finding out about him and all that. That unfortunately will be down for some time, because we're trying to that's a little unfortunate. But guests will also understand, and we will also understand that we've got to minimize that contact. But I think it's not going to be staying for too long. So I think it's a matter of 3 or 6 months. Probably from October onward, we'll be back to business just like normal.
That is a very, very optimistic view, which I also share with you. I think people love traveling. People are social people by nature. So you can't keep people away from visiting their favorite destinations, traveling deals, meeting loved and dear ones. So the industry is going to be back. With that, I wanted to audience questions, some of which we have already taken, and Mr. Baljee has been kind enough to answer. Let me pick out one question which was asked earlier, which was, okay, if I'm a developer with a brownfield property, a 4-star category, with completion due in 6-8 months with no, would you advise me to take debt, or should I wait for overall situation to improve for 6 months or even a year and then again continue to build?
It's a very good question because a lot of people are caught up in that situation. But if you are not taking debt so far and you have, so you don't have any pressure right now, you put in your own money, then it may be okay for you to wait for 2-3 months. But then, I'm not a doomsday scenario kind of a man, because if the hotel is going to take you 6-8 months, in fact, I am advising a lot of our people to finish the hotel. Okay, the worst that happened is what happened to me in 2001. When I opened in 2001, well, 1 or 2 years I took a hit. But then after that, so you cannot abandon the project now if you already spent a lot of money. You spent a little money on it and think, okay, wait and watch because if the scenario changes. But if you already put in a large amount of money and your hotel is 6 to 8 months away, then it's best to finish the project. Yes, but do it more judiciously. That's what when we advise. In fact, a lot of people who we are now associating with are in the same situation where we are tied up with, are in a similar situation. So we are telling them, okay, don't do this, don't do that. This is strictly necessary. Only we do that, and we advise them to finish the project optimally. There's one project which is there where we have through our technical expertise, we reduced the transformer cost. We reduced the cost of the generator. We reduced his cost of the hot water system because he got wrong advice. So we did all that. So I would say it's best to, complete the project. And if you need any help or so, then tie up with somebody who's expert in the industry or so. Because the best of consultants, they're not hoteliers. So you'll say, oh, when you talk to them, what consultancy you will give us? We have the best architect. He does the Taj. We have got the best interior designer and all that. But still they make mistakes. After all, what you need to do is they are to advise you what is suitable to you and your market, and not what is the best.
Very well said, Mr. Baljee. With this, we are nearly out of time. So I wanted to thank you on behalf of all the audience and on behalf of RateGain. RateGain and Royal Orchid share a very long-standing relationship, and you're one of our most dear customers. So thank you for taking out time to speak to this whole international audience of hoteliers. And we really, really appreciate all the insight you've shared. And I'm going to take you up on your offer and go and visit your beautiful property and stay there. Thank you, sir, and have a great, great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you. I also wanted to request my colleague to open the slide and show you, we will have a series of webinars, and the next webinar is actually going to be with the officer of Make My Trip and Chief Operating Officer of Make My Trip and Key Accounts, Mr. Ritvik Khare. And we are going to talk about how is distribution going to change and how is the OTA behavior going to change and the dynamics between hoteliers and OTAs. Mark your calendar for May 21st, 12 p.m. time. We're doing it in morning because we've got a lot of requests from Vietnam, other countries to do it in morning. So time will change, and we will continue with our leadership series, one webinar with a C-level executive from travel and hospitality every week. Home, but really, really think about traveling soon. Postpone, don't cancel. A very, very exciting weekend. Wishes for all of you. Thank you and bye.